Yes, you guys, and how are all of you doing today? I'm NewEFC, this is Blue Lines TV, and welcome to the disappointing 4-0 defeat against Man United. Now, this game was definitely humbling. I learned a lot personally from this game as well, and it has made me think of a few things. It's made me think about the difference between optimism and realism, but I still don't have my final answer. I still think I need more time. I need to see everything from the system. I need to see the good bits, the bad bits, and that's going to take time. I can't make a decision solely based on one game. Of course, there were some positives in this game, but the negatives really outweighed anything positive. Now, stats-wise, we had more shots, more possession, ran more, all that stuff. When you saw the game, you could see the difference between us and Man United. And as the game picked up pace and grew, you could see the confidence that Man United were oozing. And they had this confidence because, and for me personally, I felt this defeat was very self-inflicted. There were certain players that were especially poor. And some interesting questions have to be posed. Do some of these players playing right now suit this style of football? I don't think particularly, but what can we do? Is it even worth really talking about? Because we can't buy anyone. So we have to stick with what we have. I'm still keeping some optimism for the season. I think that once some key players return, when Ruben and Hudson-Odoi come, that upgrades the team massively. Because, come on, as the season progresses, I'm not seeing us using Barkley and Pedro on the team. I'm guessing Cover won't be there as well once Kante is fully fit. When Reece returns, someone that's suited to this style of football, someone that has exceptional crossing ability, someone very fast, very good defensively, he's going to be a big boost for the team. And when you start to see all these components, especially when you realise Rudiger can still return as well, especially if it looks like Kurt Zuma is having a phase right now, these components all add up, and they add up to make something still quite exciting. Now this season's going to be a test for quite a few of these guys. I'm hoping that some of them are going to stand out. Some did. I thought Mason Mount was very good today. Of course, he struggled at times, but what can you do if your partners around you are constantly losing the ball or getting dispossessed? He looked fast, he looked dynamic, he looked very positive from an offensive point of view, and he's someone that could definitely benefit from being able to get consistent game time, where normally we have a transfer window and we can just replace players from guys on the market. When it comes to Tammy, it's going to be interesting for him. I mean, we have to realise he's 21. It's not as if he's filled out his body just yet. I mean, he was playing up against two physically imposing defenders. Harry Maguire, he's a beast, he's huge. And he's playing against two defenders at times. And at the game, there were some nice moments of play from him, especially from his hold-up play and hitting the post and, some striking ability as well. But at times, we saw the sloppiness, we saw dispossession and losing the ball far too easily. I don't think he was awful. I think it was definitely a learning experience for him. Playing up against, a Premier League opposition. I think it's fair we give him time and let him grow. And I think when it comes to the young players this season, I'm hoping that the fan base is really going to understand the context and understand that we need to allow them to grow, to be able to make mistakes as well. And, if we just turn against them and give them abuse, how's that going to help them? I'm hoping the fans are going to do the right thing here, and for me personally, it wasn't as if we lost the game because of the young players. If anything, it was the more experienced pros. Now, Aspie was pretty disappointing today, very disappointing. However, before I get into that, here's the tactical segment for today's game. Now, moving on to tactics, and the main area in which we lost today's game was in midfield. Now, I want to bring up that United were physically superior than us, and that helped them time and time again. And I need to bring up the point of our system and how we play. And with how we play, we like to use a counter press. And when you use a counter press, that means that you need to win your 50-50s. If you don't win your 50-50s, it means that the midfield's basically gone and teams are able to just attack your defense. And once that happens, there's only so much a back four can do. And this is the area in which United were just dominant. Now, we tried to get past them with some quick passes out wide. Guys like Barkley and Pedro were moving fields. Guys like Emerson and Aspi moving further up. And, during the game, they created some nice opportunities, in fact, with, crosses inside the box and some cutback crosses as well. And we were able to get our men in the box. And during these moments where we look fluid and, creating some danger in United's half, we looked quite good. But as the game progressed, as we got more tired from constantly running and not winning our 50-50s, United grew in stature in midfield. And, what happened then was it was very easy for them to pick up the ball in spaces and behinds. And from then on, it was very easy for them to create attacks. And when you look at the final few goals they scored, it was literally just direct passes, basically to strikers on goal. And, it was disappointing that our defensive shape and line wasn't great. But that wasn't the main disadvantage. The disadvantage first came from the midfield not being in position and allowing all these spaces and gaps in between. And, it has been something that we have seen in pre-season a bit. The gaps between defence and midfield are too big. And this is definitely an area that we need to improve on drastically, because in the Premier League, at this level, you're going to get countered very easily. And if we keep it up, we could become a predictable team, because we caused United some issues, but as the game was progressing, once we weren't able to create crossing opportunities, it just became about players improvising and taking shots outside the box. And for me, when you're seeing guys like Emerson having 4 shots in the game, then something's clearly wrong with how this team's breaking down opponents. Another important aspect of playing with this style is that if you're looking to move the ball quickly, to start quick attacks, it means that the players have to be better on the ball. Because if they're going to lose control, if they're going to misplace their passes or make the wrong options, you're just creating counter-attacking opportunities for teams. And, at times it was quite easy for United on the counter-attack. And for those times, it came down to poor quality from the midfield. Now, one player that I'm really looking forward to is Kante. Now, he did replace Jorginho, which I was a bit surprised by. I thought Jorginho was the better midfield player today. I thought Cover was he was a bit quiet today. I wasn't too impressed by him. But Kante is going to be key. He's going to be pivotal, because, his ability to win those 50-50s is crucial. But of course, the worry is we can still get bypassed if the rest of the team aren't going to be in shape. So Frank Lampard and co will definitely have a lot of work to do in the training ground. A big game against Liverpool midweek as well. The last thing Lampard wants is another humiliating defeat. So of course, let's pray that something happens. I'm sure they're working on things. Let's remember there's a lot of first team guys that aren't in the team just yet, but not at full strength. But you guys, that's the tactical part over. Pray that something happens. I'm sure they're working on things. Let's remember there's a lot of first team guys that aren't in the team just yet, but not at full strength. But you guys, that's the tactical part over. Thank you guys for returning. Now, getting back to what I was saying earlier, Azpilicueta, an experienced player, it was quite surprising that he was one of the main culprits for being out of that defensive line time and time again. You didn't really see his leadership, and we've always known that he was never really a leader. David Luiz was always that leader. And he was a massive loss today, a big loss. I'll speak about him in further detail in a 5 talking points video later. But Aspi let the team down, and it's no surprise what Frank Lampard was saying after the game. To talk about Reece James, to say that he's going to be key for us. What does that say about Aspi? Something else I'm going to talk about in the 5 talking points video. Still, moving on to some other performances. Pulisic, when he came on, during the time in the game, you're hoping for a lot more, especially as Barkley underperformed today. Very disappointing, but Pulisic, you could see that he wasn't able to get that feel for the game. He wasn't able to keep up with the pace. His first time playing in the Premier League, we need to understand, and he's coming on as a sub, as the team's losing, when the players aren't following tactical instructions, because they're doing whatever they can to try and get back in the game. So it's not really a game today to really judge how he's going to do throughout the season. I do want to say that Pedro and Barkley particularly poor. Constantly losing the ball, making sloppy passes, the wrong passing options as well, and that was the most disappointing thing. Pedro in particular, there was a moment where he could have played Pedro on the left. Instead, he's selfish as always and looks to fashion an opportunity for himself. Disappointing. Sad performance today. Uh, Honestly, I felt super upset once the final whistle blew. I just wasn't preparing myself for something like this, but it's going to wake me up and really make me more realistic as to what to expect this season and to start considering our weaknesses more and to not get in that habit of getting disillusioned and to not get in that habit of, getting in denial and only seeing the positives. I'm not about that life. I don't want to push out that type of content. I'm always going to be objective and do the best I can. What I'm hoping we see immediately is improvement to how we defend off the ball because it was quite amateurish at times. The players really let themselves down in that aspect. I'm hoping Zuma gets that confidence back. I don't know what's happening right now. Zuma, it's a great opportunity for you to, make something happen. You've been waiting for years to represent us and play in the first team again. Now you're getting that. At times he was decent, but of course at this level, if you make big mistakes, that's going to ruin your game. And at times he was doing that too often. I still think that he'll get over this. I think with more time, it's definitely going to happen. But today, to give that penalty away too, way too rash. And, the Zuma I saw when he was first playing for us wasn't doing something like that. So I'm hoping that his time playing with teams like Stokes and Everton's didn't affect his learning of the game. I'm really hoping that didn't happen. But that's something we'll find out as the season progresses, Still, Rudiger's coming back soon. He could be a blessing because he speaks. He has a voice. We need that leadership. And that was one thing we missed today. I didn't see one player in the defense talking or communicating with their partner. And we need these guys to be vocal right now. If you're playing for us, if you're representing the shirt, you need to be assertive. You need to have that assertiveness because too many schoolboy errors just can't run like that. It can't happen. But, I still believe in these guys. I still think this season can work out well once some key players return and once these guys play together more and get more experience because for a lot of them, it's the first time playing in the Premier League or, playing in the league after a while. But if I'm Frank Lampard, I'm not panicking. I'm sure that Lampard's aware of some of the weaknesses in the team. I'm sure him and his staff are working on finding methods to reduce things. This is a foundation here in that sense. Hopefully this season's only going to get better from here. Hopefully we pick up and have a much better display against Liverpool. That's what I like to see. And yeah, you guys, I'm going to wrap things up. Yeah, anticlimactic. But you know what? It's time to start really assessing how this season's going to be, what to expect, and to understand the context for this season as well. They're important things. So I'm going to wrap things up. Thank you for watching. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lines TV, signing out.